everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is where we all gather around the computer or your phone and you get caught up on some of the latest news involving the best team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. But not only that, not only do you get the latest news items, but you also get a take tied to each of those news items as the show moves along. Not just from me, but we hear them from you too, down there in the viewer comments. Hey, speaking of that, thank you to everyone who jumps into the viewer comments and makes their voices heard. Appreciate that. Also appreciate everybody who has liked our previous episodes. I'm really banking on this one making the list. And then also to all of you who have subscribed to the channel. We are crawling our way up to 7,000. When we get to 7,000, I'm going to have to come up with a different fit. We get to 7,000. 10,000, I'm going shirtless. I think I'm sticking with it. We'll go shirtless at 10,000. So if you want to see that, subscribe. But I do appreciate everyone who has subscribed to the channel and shown support for our show so far. Okay, now let's get down to business. Coming up on today's show, there were two big decisions that affected our Cleveland Browns, one on the field, one off the field. Also ahead. Normally, Pro Football Focus, they're ripping us. But today, they're showing some love for our head coach. How about this? Not only do I have the latest odds on who will start for the Browns at quarterback week 1, but I have adjusted my list of games that I want to see each of our quarterbacks start. There's one game for each of them. I've changed my list. We'll get to that. And then down in the viewer comments, someone thinks that Browns fans are absolutely crazy for doing this right now. We'll explain. But first things first. Let's talk about these two big decisions. Number one, the stadium deal in Brook Park is basically done. And then we cut a defensive lineman. Let's start with the stadium. Now here, we'll show it to you. And there it is. And what happened was Ohio lawmakers, they have cleared the way, folks, in a couple of different ways. They changed the wording of the Art Modell law, the Modell law, of course, named for the infamous ex-Browns owner. Art Modell might be the most hated man in Cleveland, folks. Yeah. LeBron's on the not like list, I can tell you that, for leaving us twice. But Modell is on the hated list. But anyway, I move on. So he's the one who moved the team to Baltimore in the 90s because there was a battle between him and the city. He tried to make it work. The city didn't want to. It was a mess. There were problems on both sides of the whole thing. But anyway, after he moved the team out of Cleveland and took the team to Baltimore, they said, okay, we're going to make a law that says you can't move the team. Well, what happened was they changed it. They changed the language the other day to only impose limitations on sports teams that are wanting to leave not just the city, but the entire state of Ohio. So they've changed it now to not only, it allows the team to move from Cleveland to Brook Park. So as long as you're not leaving a state, you can move. And that's all the Browns want to do. They want to move about 15 miles to the south, basically, of downtown and southwest, really, of downtown, and build their brand new stadium that you're looking at right there. And then this plan also frees up the money. The Browns are going to get $600 million for this project. There's unclaimed funds, all kinds of stuff. All this is part of the budget that Mike DeWine, Ohio's governor, will sign, and he must sign it by June 30th, which I haven't found anybody to say that anybody is going to stop this. And so, new stadium coming, baby. It's coming. Now, one guy who won't be playing in the new stadium, at least in a Browns uniform, is Agbo Okoronkwo. We can never get that name right. Obeezy. We're going with Obeezy, but Obeezy is no longer on the Browns. The Browns released him. Became expendable because of Isaiah McGuire and Alex Wright. We've been talking these two up for how long? Plus, they also have Joe Tryon Shoyinka and Julian Aquara, who they have signed in the offseason. I'm sorry, Aquara, they picked them up in the offseason. But boy, oh boy, we have some of the toughest names to write. You think my name is hard to pronounce? Like, we need to come up with, can we call them Grizzer? For the love of goodness. But anyway, a lot of people are already saying this is another failed free agent that Andrew Berry had signed. I mean, he's only been with us for a couple of years. Signed a 3-year deal in 2023. Nice year the first year. He had 12 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, and he was graded in the top half of the edge rushers that year, but then last year only 5 tackles for loss and ranked 192 out of 211 edge rushers. So, well, he was brutal last year. And so on top of that, they signed a kicker. They signed Andrew Schmidt back after they released Aquara. This is all according to Sport Trek, the cap impact, the Browns are going to save about $3.5 million this year. And so, you know, they don't need him, folks. I mean, it's just bottom line with Wright and McGuire doing what they're doing, and all the other help we've got on this defensive line. Yeah, they're doing him a solid, because now he can go out and sign with somebody before training camp. And of course, when after the first comment on that tweet that Obese put out, if somebody become a Steeler, come to the Steelers, of course, you know. But whatever, you can have our sloppy seconds. That's fine. But no, so he's gone, and that will give the opportunity to Wright and McGuire to just get more reps and get the playing time they deserve. Now, the other thing, how about this? Pro Football Focus, who usually loves to just like rank us last in everything, showing love to Kevin Stfansky. They put out their top 10 returning head coaches, all right? And this is Dalton Wasserman who put this list together, and let's show you the list, and boom! There's our guy at number 10. I mean, he just eked in there, but it's Andy Reid from the Chiefs at the top, followed by Sean Payton on the Broncos, Sean McVay with the Rams, John Harbaugh with the Ravens, Mike Tomlin with the Steelers, Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers, Kyle Shanahan with San Francisco, Nick Sirianni with the Eagles, Dan Campbell with the Lions, and then Kevin Stefanski with our beloved Cleveland Browns. Now, before we get into why they put Stefanski in the top 10, couple of things. Number one, 3 out of the top 4 returning coaches are in the AFC North. If that doesn't tell you how tough this division is, I don't know what does. The other thing is, how is Nick Sirianni not ranked higher? They just won the Super Bowl. How could he not? Should he be number 1? Like, if you win the Super Bowl, aren't you the best coach? Like, I didn't get that. And I thought it's a little too much respect for Sean Payton. It might be my hatred for the Broncos, but I think that's a little much, and McVay up there. But the other one, and it's probably because he coached Michigan too, but Jim Harbaugh? What did Jim Harbaugh, and what has he done? He's been back for a year. How is he even in the top 10? So there are some asterisks with this, okay? But I digress. Let's talk about Kevin Stefanski. Wasserman says, Stefanski, this is why he eked into the top 10. Well, I mean, and based on what I just said, maybe he should be higher. But anyway, Stefanski has dealt with a cascade of issues in Cleveland, particularly surrounding guess who? Deshaun Watson and the trade. And, of course, the contract extension. However, the 2-time NFL Coach of the Year deserves respect as someone who gets his team to compete regardless of the circumstances. Wasserman writes, Stefanski broke the Browns' long playoff drought in 2020. Yes, he did. But remember, the only playoff game we've won, he wasn't there. COVID. He was in his basement watching it on TV. So I just want to make sure I have all of the actual and factual. That's what we strive for here. And he, they say he did not pick up the only franchise. He wasn't there. He also led a surge to the postseason in 2023 with Joe Flacco. So this is why they put him in the top 10. So he deals with a lot and he gets things done. So congratulations to Coach Stefanski for making the top 10 of the PFF top returning coaches list for 2025. Now, speaking of lists, look at this. Here it is. This is the updated list of odds for our quarterback. Who's going to start week 1? FanDuel gives Joe Flacco the lead right now. I mean, this is fluid, folks. It changes every week, and I check in on it every couple of weeks to see where we're at. And then you look at FanDuel, DraftKings. You look at all the different anybody who's offering ads on quarterbacks. It is a very fluid situation, but it's Joe Flacco at plus 110. So a $100 bet will win you $110. Or if you want to speak in my terms, $10 will win you $11. Kenny Pickett will get you $20 on a $10 bet. Dylan Gabriel will get you $50. And then there's Shador. $10 to win 70 or $100 to win 700. Something like a couple of weeks ago, he was 2 on the list, and now he's down to 4. What is going on? Plenty of time. This is going to change week to week, but that's where we stand right now. Now, the other thing we have to talk about today is this. Remember, I did this when the schedule came out. I said, there's one game I'd love to see each quarterback start. Now, I will say 3 out of the 4 remain the same. There's one that has changed, and we will get to it. But we'll start here. Let's get a look at that schedule, okay? And focus on week 2. Now, there's a good chance this is going to happen because Joe Flacco, as we just showed you, is the clubhouse leader right now, according to the FanDuel odds. So if he is starting, I absolutely will be must-see TV. Joe Flacco going back to Baltimore and facing the Ravens on September 14th. Must see that game. Now, the next one, Kenny Pickett. Who wouldn't want to see Pickett go into Pittsburgh and try to exact revenge on the Steelers in that Week 6 game on October 12th? I mean, I want to see it. I do. I think that would be awesome to see. I just love stuff like that. So that's who I want for Pickett. Now, Shador Sanders, I want to see him face off against the number 1 pick, Cam Ward, on December 7th. It's a home game, too. I like that. Shador could open up, be at home. I would like to see, I just really would love to see him go head-to-head with Cam Ward on December 7th. And here's my change, folks. Originally, I was thinking Gabriel against the Jets. Other than, I really couldn't find a spot for it, but then it hit me the other day. This is what I want. Week 17 at home against Pittsburgh, and here's why. By then, Aaron Rodgers will probably be hurt and halfway. He's already said he's pretty much done after this year. So he'll probably already be picking out a retirement home by the time we get to Week 17. And I want to see Will Howard start that game for Pittsburgh against Dylan Gabriel in what I am calling the Rose Bowl rematch. How fun would that be? We're already going to have a playoff spot locked up. Pittsburgh's going to be in last place, and so it won't matter. That's going to be one of those games we'll probably play a bunch of backups anyway. So we'll make it the Rose Bowl matchup. The Browns will just be getting ready for to go beat the Bengals or something for the division championship. But anyway, I would love to see that. How about that? The Rose Bowl rematch, December 28th. How fun would that be? Now, the viewer comments can start every game. There's not just one game on the schedule that I want you guys to start. You guys get every game. And today we're going to start with Tally Heat, who says, the crazy thing to me, and this is what we teased at the top of the show, the crazy thing to me is that Browns fans don't believe they will win more than half of their first 6 games, and don't believe that Flacco will last more than half a season. Man, y'all should be pushing for number 12 to start day 1 and get to it. He wants Shador in there, but what I like about this take is that he's saying, nobody's really believing. I agree. Remember, I'm so sick of hearing 0-6 to start the season. I believe we're beating Cincinnati for sure. And there's other games. Let's go back and look at it real quick here. Let's look at it. Let's do this. Beating the Bengals, Green Bay. Come on, Green Bay, get out of here. Jordan Love, get out of here. Detroit could be tough. Minnesota, get out of here. They stink, and we're beating Pittsburgh. So we're winning at least 3 of those games. So I don't know, man. That's where I'm at. We're coming out of that 3-3. So I'm with you Tally Heat. Let's go. All right, let's go. Now, this is more password than YouTube handle. It's PDM-95, which says, I was originally against drafting Sanders, but now that he's a Brown, I want him to succeed. But why rush the kid if they feel he's not ready? We only have a 2+ decade record of pushing guys onto the field when they are not ready, or the other pieces would put them in grave danger. I 100% agree. We don't need to rush this. And so, and everybody's rooting for Shedeur. I'm telling you, folks, for everybody that I asked, did it make sense to draft Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round? And everybody who says no, everybody is pulling for Shedeur to pull us from the depths and get us back to respectability and get us to the Super Bowl. DraftKings told us 2030, 5 years. You'll get us there in 5 years. That's what DraftKings said, so it's got to be true. But there's so much that's going to change between now and training camp to the preseason games to the first game. But I agree. I just think that there's no need to rush the rookies onto the field. K-Man, another password. We're just password day today. K-Man -JJ5KG says, simply put, we don't need another tight end. Here's my deal, K-Man. He's talking about, remember I mentioned yesterday Cole Kmet as a possible trade option. Here's the thing. Njoku's in his last year of his contract, and Njoku can't catch an easy pass. Njoku frustrates me. I'm sorry. He just does. We need to get younger at that position. We need somebody to match up with Harold Fannin Jr. The guy catches everything and is going to be such a weapon this year. Can you imagine Kyle Pitts or Cole Kmet lining up alongside Harold Fannin Jr.? I mean, it's like, who wouldn't want that? Sign me up 100% for that all day. And like I said put Njoku as part of the trade package if that's what it takes. I would send Njoku. He's at the end of that, and he's old. He's 28. Give me the younger guy, better contract. Let's go. That's what it's not about getting another tight end. It's about adding to the one we have. But great take, K-Man. All right, we're going to end with Neil Robison. Neil Robison, 8702, says, Dave, how do you feel about all the clickbait negative news feeds that continue to post all these bogus trade rumors before the season's even started? I really want to move past them without recognition, but I get sucked in and end up looking for a way to call out the source with little luck. It's very annoying and frustrating. Okay, first of all, don't watch any other shows. Just watch this one. I hate it, though. I wrote Neil, and I said, listen, I do. I hate that stuff. And, guys, I know everybody, I know the thumbnails. I don't do the thumbnails, but I push actual and factual. Just remember, that's what I look around, and I see. I'm not falling into, like the Cole Kmet thing. I looked at that. I read it. I vetted it. I'm like, this makes sense. I'll talk about it. But, no, we're not. But I still say, should New Orleans be calling for Kenny Pickett? Absolutely. That makes sense to me. That's a trade I'll talk about. But, remember I had a meltdown a few weeks ago about these crazy trades. I'm like, we've got to stop with these nonsense, the nonsensical trades. And I'm right there with you, Neil Robison. So all I can tell you is this. I control what I can control. Remember that? And I stay away from that. I know our thumbnails, but I don't do the thumbnails. I don't do the thumbnails. Here's the thing. Actual and factual is what I strive for. Infotainment. I want to make sure we're all learning something here and moving on. But yeah, I'm not for the clickbaity bull, just made up trade possibilities that can happen, stuff that will never happen. I stay away from them, and so should you. Okay, that's going to do it for today's show. All right. Hey, stay cool out there. It's been getting hot around here in Northeast Ohio, so stay cool. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.